In this lesson, we're going to explore density inside of a 2D container. All right, let's go ahead and create a default simulation here. And let's take a look at what this looks like by adjusting our content details density. Now, earlier I showed you a little bit about buoyancy, but let's talk about density scale. If I set this to 0, I'm going to essentially have no density inside of this scene. However, if I set this to 1, I have 100% density wherever it's emitting. That's going to control the color, it's going to control the opacity of the edge, and it's going to really give me something that's, well, easier to see in preview. So there we go. Okay, we have a much thicker scale here. Actually, I set it to 2. Now, if I, again, adjust the buoyancy, let's get this set to 0. You'll notice that it's going to stay right here, right at the horizon line or at the creation point, because there's no force or the density has no floating or sinking ability. Now, all it takes is just taking it to just 0.001, and then off it goes. It'll start moving in the upward direction. So if you wanted to have kind of a explosion, let's move this down like a nuclear explosion type of effect, you would allow that to build up and then animate that container's buoyancy and scale. Okay, so as you can kind of see here, there we go. Right, so I'll go ahead and set my buoyancy back to 1, and so we can move these around a little bit. Okay, so there's a really cool set of attributes here called dissipation and diffusion. Okay, dissipation is essentially how does this particle fade out and disappear. So watch, as I increase this, see how those older fluids just kind of disappear, and as I increase this higher, I'm getting closer and closer to just what I have, my initial particle. Okay. Now, diffusion controls the spread. So as they live, how much do they spread out? So let me just decrease this so you can see it a little bit. See how soft that got? Again, I'll lower the buoyancy a little bit. And so here's no diffusion. Here's a lot of diffusion. So really, it just depends on how you want to control things like how fast does it spread, how fast does it fade out. So really, you're going to be able to control if you had a match or smoke or some kind of a flame like that. Maybe you have no dissipation, but the diffusion is just spread high enough to get the look that you're after.